last time on Cityville Heroes. Vampires in Cityville University.
So let's see, you started off the adventure,
A kidnapped student.
There were pseudo vampires. Pseudo.
Hey, but we haven't, okay, so that's...
I'm saying it with a questioning voice.
They're science vampires. They are science vampires.
A science project gone wrong.
Alright, so you started off, you were just finishing, you were still on patrol from the previous night. Which was a good thing because then you heard a scream and rushed to investigate. When you got there, Kathy had been attacked by some of the vampires roaming the campus. This was your actual technical first confirmed encounter with vampires. To that point, there had just been some students acting a little weird. But it was okay in the end because there was another student there who you were familiar with, your neighbor and your project partner, and you, Remy, or Raimi. I cannot words right now. Raimi, who had put up a familiar-looking bubble of defense around herself and Kathy. So 2 and 2 together checks. Y'all figured out Raimi's secret ID. So now you all know who each other is.
I'm Batman. You want to know my secret identity?
No. So you managed to drag everyone off to the library for temporary quarantine and signal down the resident, possibly vampire hunter, substitute teacher.
We never put into consideration that he is a vampire who hunts vampires.
No, you did not ever actually consider that he could be a vampire who hunts vampires. You could never find a picture of him. Just saying.
Hurry, swap him with that thing of holy water.
With the holy water gas grenade. He was less than helpful because, with his own words, these aren't vampires, they're not my problem.
He was slightly more helpful than I think he wanted to be.
He was slightly more helpful than he wanted to be, mostly because he felt a little bad about stabbing a student with a stake. Because, you know, he thought they were a vampire. And, well...
At least he falls into the category, I'm sorry I almost murdered you, instead of tried to murder you.
No, that would be an interesting carved path next to his bed.
Sorry, I almost murdered you.
So anyways,
we're able to...
you two decided to go back to your dorms to either work or go to sleep while I pulled an all-nighter watching over the quarantine kids. That I remember.
Some things happened before that.
Yeah.
Yep. Chasing people in tunnels.
Oh yeah, after the vampire attack, we chased one of the ladies. I forget her name.
Yeah. Vampire with really long nails.
Yeah.
Into the Sullivan Lane building.
Into the Sullivan Lane building, where we found out where the Dynamite Gal and her friends were hanging out. And also...
Presumably that's where they were hanging out. We don't know for sure yet.
Okay. We also found a sewer network that ran throughout most of the school and tracked her out to where she jumped into the forest and lost her trail. Anything I missed?
Raimi found their secret hideout. Told them about it.
So, when you were actually investigating the vampires, you were able to realize that they aren't traditionally vampires, although they exhibit some very vampire-like characteristics. But instead of being brought on by some kind of mysticism or curse, they're infected with some kind of nanobot plague.
A green goo scenario?
They specifically, I have cookies stuck in my teeth. Specifically, it looks, at least gathered by the vampire's accelerated healing, it looks like the nanobots may have been intended to be healing.
A miracle cure gone wrong?
I think there's just a vampire nerd with a lot of technical know-how and just smart enough to make it work, but not smart enough to make it work well.
Not smart enough to know that it shouldn't have tried in the first place.
Well, isn't
Shit,
that
I forgot
really...
the other girl's name.
Well,
I
isn't
forgot
that
the other
really
girl's name, I
all
didn't write it
how
down.
all supervillains are created?
I forgot the other girl's name. I didn't write it down. The vampire who got away. She got named after the street sign that we drove past on the way here. Started with an R. Richards? Something Richards?
I don't.
Oh, Romilda.
Ah.
Romilda Richards.
Yes.
There we go. Okay.
Okay.
I'm writing that down.
The Harry Potter.
Yeah.
All this and more on this episode of Cityville Heroes.
Okay, so, roll me... Nope, never mind. No. Roll me nothing.
I'm
So,
gonna roll anyways, just to spite you. 10.
success. Okay, so you guys are able to go home, and you wake up the next morning. I believe it's now Wednesday, and you drag your sore asses to class. You're all a little tired.
Nothing that coffee can't fix.
What time did you guys actually end up packing in for the night? Because it was pretty late. It was
Sometimes in the AMs, like
Yeah.
between 2 and 5 a.m., somewhere in that range.
I spent a couple minutes trying to find a power that lets me stay awake or something, but after that I decided to go to sleep.
okay. You decide not to sleep at all.
I decided not to sleep at all.
May I see your character sheet, please? Thank you. Okay. Alright, can I get everyone? Hold on, one moment. I'm gonna get everyone to roll me an endurance check in a moment. You have the advantage.
Mm-hmm.
But yours is also gonna be a harder endurance check.
Mm-hmm.
Because you decided to wait up.
I don't see that on the thing.
It's not.
Stamina?
I believe so. I'm just confirming because I don't want to do something with the wrong shenanigans.
You should have a did you finish your homework check.
Did you? None of you went home to do homework.
Cereal Box Rainy did.
That's
Hey.
true. Cereal box maybe did.
I finished my homework before. Remember, I did my homework.
for the movie class. But yeah, no, I wasn't gonna mess you up because you were all doing it before.
Because we're studious students that don't wait until the last moment.
Shut up.
That was not a dig, but if you took it like a dig, maybe it's a guilty mind at work.
There may be some things I still need to do when I get home tonight.
Almost done. How much farther do you have to go?
Feet.
Almost done.
We were talking about how Rob Drolheisel can't draw feet, so
Well, the only thing about feet is that if you perspective a little bit up, you don't have to.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And you can always have them have a bag by their feet or something conspicuously blocking the way.
Yeah.
They're always standing behind a small hill.
Yeah.
Or, I
I've
don't know.
sent everyone a
day or
video
two
of
study
Stan
place.
Lee basically mocking all of Todd McFarlane and Rob Liefeld's ability as comic book creators.
I sent an email to that video.
Oh my god, I swear to god I had this tagged.
What you looking for?
Oh, the endurance
What to
check.
do for an endurance check?
So on the cheat sheet?
Yeah. If it isn't right here, then I'm just going to
I went down to sleep. Damaged Durgan shield. Tell the wife.
Alright, you know, screw it. Okay, so, everyone roll me a fortitude check with a DC. You went to bed at 5?
Between 2 and 5, I don't.
This is going to be a straight fortitude check. Yeah. So let's go DC 15, degree matters.
Okay. Then.
You didn't sleep at all.
No, I did not.
You have DC 20.
Okay. I have a fortitude of 12.
Yes!
Mhm.
25! for the recording, he rolled a 1 and a 2.
Okay. I got a 14 fortitude.
Why'd you roll 2 dice?
You said you got advantage.
You said I got advantage.
Oh, that's true. That is what we were calling it now. I meant because you had +5 from your great endurance.
Okay.
But we'll just
Even
we'll just
one.
take it as a D, as the you get to roll 2 dice. So, ouch.
Let's
What
see.
would you? So tell me by how many degrees you failed a DC
Yeah.
20 check, and your DC
24.
You are peachy keen. You are right as rain. You feel fully refreshed. Any drains to your toughness or anything like that are removed. You are.
3
I don't think you had
successes.
any. You had 3 successes. Same. Surprisingly, you are feeling very refreshed. You're nice and peachy. Any drains to your toughness have been removed.
Nope.
Your toughness things are going to stay. How much did you fail by?
1.
Only 1 degree?
Yeah.
He has a +14.
Yeah.
Then, yeah, you're not going to take any toughness hits, but...
You got 24, that would be what? 2 successes? Yeah.
Close enough.
Yeah.
Does that? Then carrying an enemy going with you.
I mean, I didn't actually
Okay,
get hit
so
last time, so I'm...
That's true. But you are fatigued.
Okay.
So what fatigue means is... fatigue is just another word for hindered, but you
Yeah.
recover from fatigue with rest.
Yeah.
Over an hour of rest.
Yeah.
But all it really means is you move at half your speed.
Okay.
So you're just a little sluggish.
Yeah.
But otherwise, you're feeling
So if
pretty
you
good.
can get a cat nap during the day.
It had to be a fairly, like...
It says an hour.
rest. Yeah, but it's like...
Yeah.
Of sleep.
Yeah,
Like,
of uninterrupted
rest.
sleep.
Yes. So y'all are making your way off to your morning classes.
Because we're apparently, you know, have no sense.
Unless you don't want to go to class, you are welcome to skip class.
No. Probably ought to give you enough people.
I have
missing.
already forgotten what my class schedule is.
It's alright, I have your class schedule right here. You, I know, have, you've got your reading fiction class. Although for some reason it's only listed on Mondays, it's not on Wednesdays.
It
But,
might be a 3-hour class once a
well,
week.
it's on Wednesdays now.
Oh no, it's film studies is listed on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah, but you had your film study yesterday. You have a stats class in the morning, followed by another stats class in the afternoon.
Very
and then
different
a
classes.
Yeah,
Slightly different parts of stats.
yeah.
And if worse comes to worse, we can just say that they switched the dates.
You have class in the morning, then work in the afternoon.
Yeah. So what's my class?
It says hardware.
Hardware. Okay.
Hardware engineering.
Okay.
Question: are you going to do morning classes a lot in this game? Because if so, I can probably just move it to Monday, Wednesday, twice a week.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a decent number of mornings. Okay, so...
Oh no, I'm doing hardware engineering while tired.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Uh,
Alright, so...
Mr. Albertson, I think I broke the saw. Oh my god, what did you try to saw here? Nothing. I say, cradling my arm.
So you're off to we'll start over with you actually. So you've got your hardware class in the morning. You're basically walking like a zombie. Just one problem you don't need. You never actually went home. Thankfully, nobody can tell because you never changed your clothes anyway.
Yep.
Your class, like yesterday, your class numbers were like pretty low. There's a decent chunk of your class missing.
Yeah.
Today, there's like straight up half or more of the class is gone.
Yeah.
like your teacher kind of walks in, but he's like not even looking at students. 'Cause at this point in this class, you're just for your midterms, you're actually all just working on a project for your midterms. So at this point, everyone's on self-study anyway. So maybe for this class, it's because people just don't feel the need to come in. Which can be more diabolical. Let's see, who's actually in your class? What's her name? Sachi Shahid is in your class. You would have been very surprised if she wasn't there. She's quite a dedicated worker. Still doesn't talk to you, or anyone else for that matter. Just kind of off in her own little project. Roll me an awareness check.
Okay. Awareness. Just straight awareness.
Awareness. Straight awareness.
Perception.
1.
You notice nothing else. No, this is an awareness check. Alright, so you just...
teacher manager to sneak up behind you and scare
I'm
you.
just gonna put these both in the bag here.
They've been banished.
Good plan. And so let's see how well you do in your class today. Roll me a technology check.
Okay then.
Is there like a fatigue penalty here?
Not for this. No.
14.
Alright. So failing by 1 degree, you don't actually make any particularly significant progress on your project right now, but you do manage not to break it. You were working the whole class on making this one little part that you were supposed to put in, and you realized you had built it wrong. It's a good thing you realized before you put it in, because it would have literally destroyed your whole project.
Lovely.
So congratulations, you didn't bomb your midterm.
Lovely.
I mean, you still have to actually present the thing. You still got now a piece to do, but you're probably good for now.
Okay. I can probably, work on it at home when Mr. Marionetti's not looking.
Probably. Wandering over here, so you get into your morning stats class, feeling surprisingly chipper. And I assume you take your seat next to your friend in the class, Cohen, and who's sitting there like. Like everybody when you show up kind of like eyes you. Like, here. Want a snack? And he like holds out a bag of like garlic chips.
Sure.
What is it? Because you're missing.
Like he's like half out of his chair, like scooch. Like, puts the garlic chips away. How was your night?
My roommate's missing.
Your roommate's missing? I didn't know you had a roommate.
Yeah, I have a roommate. You know, Ivan.
Yeah, not really ringing any bells.
You see him next to me pretty much every morning before class.
Nothing, dude. So nothing, well, you're, straight up missing? Have you, like, reported him missing? To, like, your RA or something?
Yeah, there's authorities already on it.
Oh, shit, man, I'm sorry. But, so you don't know what happened to him?
No, not yet.
Roll deception. You know exactly where he is.
Yeah, actually, please do roll me a deception while I consult his character stats.
You're gonna think you're a vampire if you don't want to.
Beginner's luck, adding plus 5.
You don't want to ruin this relationship with Colin forever?
Because I'm gonna roll this. I need a thing. Okay. Wow. Okay. Where's his perception? Plus 18.
24.
Damn, good job. Okay.
Oh, wait.
He believes you did not assassinate your roommate.
Yeah, he's pretty sure you probably didn't assassinate your roommate. I takes out his water bottle. Oh, actually, can I borrow that die again?
I swear, if you got a priest to bless that.
Where's my... Doobadoo, doobadoo, doobadoo. Oh, don't want that one. I want this one. Thank you.
Archbishop, were those bullets in my mouthwash?
Don't worry about it. Roll me a perception check.
Me?
Yeah.
No,
Or
me,
actually,
person who
it'd be an
is...
insight check, sorry.
Inside. 15.
Okay. So, Colin takes out his water bottle. Oh no! Oops! Oh! And water comes rushing out of his water bottle and like spills over the edge onto your lap. Oh, I'm so sorry. It like seems like stop it before too much water comes out of it. And when he puts it in his bag, roll me a perception check, DC 10.
Do you have like a craft in there or something? Hey.
Yeah, you see it. He's got like a dozen water bottles in his bag.
He's like an uncle who's a priest.
So, do you know a guy or what?
Oh, I'm just really thirsty. You know, so he doesn't actually drink his water bottle before he puts it away. So,
Hey, look, this has just been collecting dust, so this may protect you a little more than whatever else. I give him my old taser that I never used.
just like, are you giving me a taser? What do you know?
You just seem really on edge.
So you want to give him a taser?
I think I'm an edge, so you give me a taser. Okay, so you're clearly not one of them. So, have you noticed people around here have been just a little weirder than usual lately? Okay, Dylan tried to fight me this morning.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you okay? No marks?
Yeah, no, I'm fine. Like, people are acting weird, man. I know we were making all those jokes about the professor yesterday, but I legitimately think he's turning people into vampires.
Leave that there. Leave that level 2.
Well, that's a bet that I would win, but at the same time...
Vampires! Dude!
I know I was making all these jokes, but I don't think they're actually vampires.
She had fangs! Well, I mean, she could just had really pointy teeth I've never noticed before, but... never had cause to find out, unlike, you know, every guy on the sports team, but just... Am I the only one whose face is... Okay, I'm just... Sorry, maybe I just need to sleep some more. Oh, man, this, like, the commute to the school maybe is just getting to me.
Hey, look, for the time being, I have an extra room if you need somewhere to sleep. I'm sure Ivan wouldn't mind.
On campus? In your missing roommate's bed? No.
Fair point. I admit, I wasn't thinking things entirely through.
Yeah, because that worked so well for him. Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Before you guys can talk too much more, your stats professor comes in and gets the attention of the class.
Does he instantly get spritzed with water?
Just a one like a dog.
like a mister,
Yeah.
a plant mister. No, we're good. No. Yeah, no, he doesn't do that.
Just set up a humidifier.
But you do notice that when a student sits down on the other side of him, he accidentally spills water on him too and had to no effect. You, of course, know that the holy water probably wouldn't do anything anyway. There's also the question of where his holy water is from and if it's actually holy water.
Besides, the Van guy's holy water is probably like grade A holy water from like only the most devout.
It's probably straight from the Vatican. Yeah. Yeah, no, this is, his is probably from, like, the local parish. Like, does fountain water count? Just like,
Quick cut to a priest sitting at a table going,
yeah. It's like,
How
Chinese wild
we get
tonight.
good service around Halloween every year.
Alright. Meanwhile,
This is better than when you were doing Prohibition.
so meanwhile, in your reading fiction class, like straight up, most of your class is gone. Like, you're down to like half tops.
And do all of these people look relatively normal?
A couple of them seem, like some of them seem a little drained, but it could just be, you know,
Midterm drained or
Midterm drained.
vampire drained?
Tamlin is not in this class. Never mind.
It makes
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know who is in this class? Macy. And she like waves at you from the front, where she sits down, like front and center, like prime. I can smile up at the teacher seat.
Amy sits right next to her.
Yeah.
this is gonna suck. There goes, what's her name? Perfect attendance record. It's gone.
Kathy Cartwright.
Somebody should probably call the school and hope half so she doesn't murder us later to let her know that she's leaving.
Get her a doctor's note. I've never had an absence. So yeah, she's just like, oh, it's like,
He's
hi,
probably
Amy.
just gonna get a party.
Oh, I heard an explosion over by the old wing, by the old science labs where we're keeping all the kids quarantined. She's dragging herself. I'm not being absent.
So Macy's like, oh, hi, Amy.
Yeah. Hi, did you see Jackson last night by any chance?
No, I was supposed to meet up with him, but I had to leave. So I did. I haven't been able to get a hold of him this morning, though. I feel kind of bad, actually.
I heard he and Jeremy were down sick with something, and they didn't want to have other people catch it.
Yeah, I heard that, but then he said he was feeling better, so we
I
were
saw
going
him
to
in
meet
the
at the
hallway
library.
afterwards, and he still looked a little,
well,
off.
No, well maybe he went home to rest again, and then I don't have to feel so bad.
Yeah, I think probably give him a couple of days to get over. You wouldn't want to get sick right around midterms, and I think he'd probably feel bad if he got you sick. You know how big he is in school.
Yeah, that's true. I wouldn't want to get sick around midterms. That would be really. I don't want to get bad grades. I really need to get good grades. Did you hear that Dr. and Dr. Olson are gone?
Yeah, I have a film study class with them.
Yeah.
Went on vacation suddenly?
Yeah, apparently. My friend who's got this class at an earlier time slot said there's a substitute.
Bender, Mirror.
I don't know.
Is the teacher in the room yet?
Not yet.
Is this usually a Dr. Olson class?
This is Mrs. Dr.
Yes.
Olson. Yeah. Yes.
Ah.
Dr. Elaine Olson's class. Yeah.
I can predict it.
Yeah. And
Well, no safer place you could be, but you're the guy who likes to stab children.
sure enough, as you're talking after a minute, a gentleman in a suit in his late 40s or whatever the hell we decided his age was comes walking in, turns to the class in a dramatic fashion and says, "Hello, my name is Dr. Vandermeer." He does not pause awkwardly on his name. "And I will be substituting for Dr. Olin Olson because she is on vacation." And his-
Probably something very romantic since the other Dr. Olson is on vacation.
Yeah. It's like we'll let's see. Alright, you are class, and he like checks your number. Okay, so you just finished. It's like flipping through like a binder on like the desk, the huge desk. He's like, and Today we'll be discussing the many literary adaptations of Bram Stoker's Dracula.
This is a reading sci-fi class.
It's like, are you kidding me? It's like, I hate these people. And he like pulls up a PowerPoint. It just shows like a picture, and it's like a vampire with like a spacesuit on his like a space like one of those like bubbly space helmets on his head.
Just like a Pride and Prejudice
Zombies
but with like
and it's like, and it goes on to talk about like how Dracula is such a omnipresent thing in fiction, that he was written into all these different things in parodies and in honest adaptions, and somebody took the whole thing and like wrote it as like space vampires. And then he goes on to talk about alien races that live off of humans and how it's just an analog for like vampires, which itself are an analog for something else. And then
there's a book in the 1940s claiming that the Batman of Gotham City was Dracula coming back from the dead.
And just, other things. He kind of goes on. He looks super unenthused. And he's kind of like looking over the class, also kind of realizes, like, oh, yeah. As well as like, well, I guess I should do attendance. And he goes down, he's like going through the list, and he gets like partway down the list, waiting after each name. He's like, okay, I'm just gonna read through these and say something really quickly if it's you. Blah, 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 blah. He doesn't recognize you because he only saw you in costume.
He saw Cereal Box Amy.
That's true. He did see Cereal Box Amy.
Trying to
And
get
he
him
did
to
not
go
even
on
another
a
class.
quiz.
Yeah. Yes. He does eye some people suspiciously, but doesn't seem to think to he's not like calling anybody out or sending anybody to go get something and then like following them out and stabbing them, so it's all good. I'll get your homework assignments, get out, and he on the other hand, he doesn't look like super tired, but he like looks marginally more tired than the last time, like before. And he actually got to bed at like a somewhat decent time too, compared to you. It's like
Light sleep.
he's like can't tell this from you. He's grumpy, like I want to go home now. Exit your classroom.
He just like sweeps out dramatically.
Pretty much. And then like he sweeps out, and then as he's walking, there's like class dismissed. Like as he's walking through the door.
Just like, I am over this.
Drama.
You're a fan of pictures. Did you take a picture of me?
No. But the next time Reflection sees him, she might. But
So I guess,
Yeah, so you theoretically have a shift you're supposed to go to at work. Are you gonna go to it?
I should probably, show up at the place. Mr. Marionetti might be worried since I
Didn't go home last
did
night?
go home last night.
that's what a quick text is for.
Yeah. You're more than welcome to go go off the campus if you would like.
Yeah. I'm just, I'm going to work on my project on the shift, see if there's any cars where not any work that can be
You should
done.
also keep an eye on the general populace to see if that's just a campus thing that's going on, or if it's spread out farther.
Okay.
My explanation to Mr. Marionetti is I was working on a project with a friend, and I mentioned oh crap, I've forgotten my partner's name for the Dracula.
Tamlin?
Yeah, Tamlin. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, well, as you guys are all exiting your various classes, the hallways are surprisingly busy.
So no response from Mr. Marionetti about me spending the night with
Tamlin? I just get like a winky face, like emoticon. Yeah, thumbs up, winky face, emoticon back. Yeah. Jesus.
It's probably your text alert for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you get out of class, and it's fairly busy in the hallways. Busier than you would expect, given the actual population of your classes.
What? Okay, so they're here, but they just go in class.
Looking at these people very suspiciously.
Assessment.
Yes. Oh, you want to roll an assessment against somebody nearby?
Yeah.
Okay. I believe it is perception or insight. Sorry, it's insight. My apologies. Let's just say DC 10. The better you do, the more you get.
Pretty high. Let's see. Insight.
22.
22, yeah.
You're more than 3 degrees. Yeah. So you're looking around at your fellow students. Some of them look pretty haggard. Some of them look kind of like you remember seeing some of the people yesterday where they were a little, well, they would look a little haggard, but they kind of also look a little like dazed, like a little drugged out. And you also see a number of people who seem very alert, but not in like a typical, oh, they're standing around chatting. Like they're like there'll be people kind of standing around like little clusters, little groups.
Oh god.
But they're not
Are they looking for prey?
chatting. They're not chatting in the same way you'd normally expect. They're just kind of watching the people around them and smiling
Hey Nancy, where's your next
and
class?
standing kind of like ready to run kind of positions and slightly and some of these people you're looking at them and one of them when they smile it kind of looks like their back teeth might be a little pointier than typical. They're also, none of them are standing directly in sunlight. Although none of them seem, there is sunlight in the hallway though, none of them seem to be actually avoiding sunlight. But they're not like standing in bright sunlight.
So, sensitivity, but not weakness.
Like, could you,
So you
yeah,
grab
like,
Lacey.
where's your next class, Macy? Oh, you done for the day?
I'm gonna send a text to you two when I have the opportunity and inform them about this thing I've marked, right?
There's roving packs of vampires
Yeah,
on
they seem to
campus.
be avoiding sunlight, but not like. But they seem to be okayish in it.
It might just be a thing that they're like lethargic in sunlight.
Maybe.
When you mentioned alerts, I suddenly had a thought. What if these kids are taking the nanobots to help them with their midterms?
Oh God. The
Um,
new drug on the
Study
market.
drugs.
God.
so
Now we have to look for a therapy. No.
You wander up through the halls of Macy. Her next class is, let's say, calculus. That's a thing that you do in university. They
You want to be in science or something?
Yeah. So she goes off to her math class. She. Do you follow her into the class, or do you?
No, I'll just escort her to the class.
Yeah.
And maybe like lightly, like try to suggest like, you know, I think some people are getting a little squirrely for midterms and there's, you know, it might be a good idea to go directly home.
Roll me a perception check. DC 20.
26.
Excellent. 2 degrees of success. You were not, so it's not necessarily something strange, but somebody else from your last class has come to this class with you.
Who?
You don't actually know. You have perfect recall and do not remember having ever, like, you think maybe you might have seen them maybe back during, like, the first fair? Like, during, like, the Frost Week fair?
Have they been following us?
Yeah, they followed you from the last class. And she goes into the classroom past you guys.
Does he follow her in?
Yeah, she follows her in. It's a she.
Oh, she follows her in. Can I suddenly take a picture of her?
Yeah.
I do not have like all sounds are off on my phone, no
Yeah.
flash.
Yeah. She's taller, but well, also athletic. She's got a baseball cap on, and it's actually kind of like pulled down a little bit, so you do get a picture, but it's a picture where she's kind of doing this with like the ball cap, so you can only kind of, sort of, mostly make out her face, but like not a lot, and she's sitting a couple of rows back from Macy and a couple of seats over to the side, but is like between her and the door,
Like laser focus on Macy?
not laser focused on Macy. But roll me an insight check. DC 20 again.
That one's gonna be a bit harder for me to do. Nope, 21.
So she's definitely not laser focused on Macy, but she's definitely aware of Macy. Also, she doesn't have a book bag. Yep. Do you have a picture of her?
Yep. I don't have a class right now, do I?
Nope.
So as soon as I get the text, I'm going to ask Mr. Marionetti if I can take an early day off. That my partner wanted me to help her with the project some more.
You get back another give back like another winky face, like thumbs up smile. He's with like a it's like, well, I can't do an Italian accent. I'm sorry. Like you gotta do what you gotta do. I mean, I wouldn't want to disappoint.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, you don't want to disappoint the ladies. Is kind of what you get back.
Thank you very much, Mr. Marionetti. I'm sure I'll spare you all the gory details.
Well, you don't have to do that.
Quick question.
Yeah.
I'm
Do you
flying
want to
to
know
the.
what Macy's family is like? Like, is she rich?
Is Macy Mercer rich?
Yes.
That's a good question.
Because
Mercer
if
is not
because if the
wholly.
last time I saw this person was at the fair, there's a chance that they've been following Macy for longer than just this incident.
Yeah.
Could be personal security, for example.
Mercer is not a wholly uncommon name, but no check needed. There is a family of red-headed Mercers you're aware of, but you've never heard of a Macy Mercer connected to the family.
Okay.
Yeah, the Mercers are a branch of the Luther family.
Does baseball cap look like they're exhibiting any symptoms?
Symptoms? No.
Okay, then they're probably following Macy, and they probably have been since term started. She's probably in decent hands. If anything happens to her, they'll go first.
So I'm flying to the quarantine building.
You're flying to the quarantine building. You're not just gonna walk there like a normal student. You're just gonna. No, of course not.
No.
Are you making any attempt to be stealthy?
Yeah, I guess.
He can fly faster than he walks, right?
Yeah, admittedly, you're flying pretty lethargically right now too.
But still faster than Walker.
Yep. Yeah, just 900 feet per round.
So you get up to a roof, take off, and all the students woo.
Yeah.
As you see a shadow pass over the thing, a vaguely wing-shaped shadow pass over a window of a hallway that you're walking through, you do notice a couple of those groups of suspicious students kind of go at the shadow as it passes over, which makes a couple of the normal students kind of jump and then kind of go weird midterms. And keep going.
Oh, by the way,
I'm gonna send you a text.
I'm sending both of you a text.
No, I'm sending you a text.
Maybe just getting
Hey,
a text.
make a U-turn. Make your shadow pass over
Whatever
the
building
group near me.
Okay. BTW study drugs.
Question mark or exclamation point?
Question mark.
I'll look into it.
She does a loop back, passes by the window again. Why? This time, I was
Just keep going back and forth, you end up having to do this.
I'm recording this.
I have hallucinations caused by. Yeah. Otherwise, they don't seem to be aggressive. They don't seem to be doing anything. They're just kind of milling about.
Okay. So anyways,
And they're weirdly in tune with each other.
Hive mind?
When one moves, the rest seem to move. They seem to
nano
be.
machines talking to each other? We know they're talking to something else.
So, do you have another class?
You have my schedule.
That's
I
true.
think it's not until late afternoon.
Yeah.
And it's the history of the super whatever.
Yes. So let's review the facts of the case as we know them currently. They're nanobots that are doing things. You think they're probably of medical origin. The infected parties that you were aware of, for some reason, you've now passed a couple of random roaming groups of students, but they all seem to appear to be the. You did find out that the nanobots seem to be getting. They're receiving instructions from an outside source.
One which apparently is so weak that we can't trace.
Not really effectively, but it seems to be. I think one of the information you got was that the information seems to be relaying. So like they could be getting it from the one next to them. So like if you might trace it to.
Explain the whole group thing.
Yeah. Like so you might trace it from like II to Kathy. And
Oh
then
no,
from
they're
Kathy-
vampire, werewolf, Frankenstein, cyborg, ants.
So, still have a break between classes right now.
Yeah, you were right.
I'm gonna go visit Diana.
You're gonna go visit Diana.
And if she's not in, breaking and entering might be happening. Minus the breaking.
So you get out to her room and knock, knock, knock. Knock, knock, knock.
Do you have like a secret?
Yeah. No response from inside.
Text Diana. Hey, you in? Hoping to do more stuff with the project. Get back to me as soon as you can, kind of thing. And I listen.
You hear nothing. And you receive no response to the text message immediately.
Oh, boy,
But
no.
she has not previously responded to you in a
Do I
timely
know
fashion.
anything else about her schedule besides the film studies?
Probably not. You've been her friend though. Again, she is in other classes.
Yeah, just wanna
They're
know if
mostly
she's in
creative.
class. Yeah. I'm gonna text these two.
Yeah.
Be like, thinking about breaking into Diana's room to see if we can find anything.
Do it.
The enabler.
So just like,
Well, yeah, I'm trying to decide if I want to go costume, because at least if I get caught at that point. But if I do go in there and I break into her room, I can always pretend I'm the concerned friend. She disappeared last night.
Certain friend that knows how to pick up the door.
do you know how to get into her room?
Do you think I have? Is that a separate skill?
At sleight of hand.
I do a sleight of hand. Spelled wrong.
Stop mocking my.
Yes, I do a sleight of hand. So I would like to unlock her door.
Okay.
Actually, I'm gonna stealth first, so that if she does happen to be inside, I can just quickly.
So the stealth and the sleight of hand are going to kind of go hand in hand. Whether or not you're going to be able to stealth it is going to depend on how well you sleight of hand.
I'm also gonna try to make sure that there's nobody looking at me before I do this. If there's anybody around, kind of pull out a key to make it look like I have a key to the room.
You're
rather
like,
than...
yeah, I'm totally not breaking in. What are you talking about? Alright, so roll me a... Oh, sorry, actually, this is a technology check, not a sleight of hand check.
Well, not good, but I can still try.
Yep, technology to disarm or sabotage various security devices, including logs, traps, and sensors.
And I would suggest trying the credit card thing first.
It is a DC 10. Do you have any tools?
Nope.
Do you have
I
the
do have a
ability?
credit card.
Do you have the ability for improvised tools?
No, but I can make expertise skills checks.
Unfortunately, without a tool to get in,
Yep.
you're not going to be able to pick the lock.
Hey, I'll still try the credit card check first.
Okay, that would be a tool that would fall under improvised tools.
Really?
Which
I
is,
can't use...
so what you're doing is, so you can do it. It's going to be at a penalty though. Improvised tools means you can use improvised tools without a penalty.
Okay.
What's your actual advantage? Actually, you know what? Because instead of doing the pluses and minuses, let's do advantage, disadvantage.
Okay.
So it'll be disadvantage because you don't have improvised tools
Okay.
and you don't have the correct tool. But it's only DC 10.
Okay, I'm using a card that's like, it's like for an old membership that I
Okay.
haven't been in a while.
So if it gets destroyed, it's not a big deal.
Yes.
So tell me whether you pass, like, how well or badly you do on.
Oh, Nope, that's a 9.
It's so close. Well, only 1 degree of failure, though.
Yeah.
So you can't just seem to really, like, because of how the jam is built, you just can't really get it in. You think it's maybe the right angle, or maybe the lock's the wrong direction.
Yep.
But you just manage to kind of, like, beat up the edge of your card and not really do any particularly significant, significant damage.
Over there.
Or I can just go back to, I can just break in like we did last time.
So it's like, yeah, the last you checked, your window wasn't locked.
Yeah, I could try that again, but that would involve getting in costume, because if anybody sees me, I'm not going to be Raimi standing on a floating
Yeah.
disc.
I mean, you could also, like, blast out her door if you wanted.
No, unless I have rewind powers to take that back. But yes, before she will go, she will play the concerned friend
Yeah.
and call another friend for help, like, you know, totally through text. Hey, I haven't seen Diana in a while. I thought something might have happened to her, like I did. Want to come help me check?
ONW.
What NW?
On play.
Oh, NW. Okay, yeah. Okay. So you show up. She's trying to break into the door. Sadly. You, I believe, do have
I have improvised.
You have improvised tools, so you do not take a negative
And
negative
+5
5
to technology.
And +5 to technology. Boom.
Well, I know what I'm getting at.
So just roll one die.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got this. I'm gonna take my screwdriver. I'm just gonna like put it like right at the edge, like between the, like this. No, totally would not work in real life. But I'm just gonna put that there. And flip
Not
That
gonna-
will leave a mark.
So whether or not leaves a mark is going to depend on the result, by how many degrees you succeed or fail.
And while he's doing this, I'm also sending Dan another text like, hey, I'm starting to get worried. In case
So
anybody
you do
checks.
really well. You actually manage to get it just the perfect angle. It pops open with
24.
Yeah.
with
It's a craft.
no marks on the door whatsoever. Swings open. Inside the room is dark, but you see no Diana. And it's not a very big room, so you would see Diana. There's no real people-sized hiding places in there.
You go in.
You enter.
I search for traps.
Roll me a perception check.
8.
A gas trap goes off and you know. There are no traps. I mean, there's a bunch of junk on the floor. She's not the tidiest person in the world. There's a couple of movie cases strewn about. A lot of vampire ones right now for some reason. But, including the weird one that you guys are watching.
Yeah.
But nothing too fancy in here.
I'm gonna look in the trash bin.
You gotta look in the trash bin. Alright.
And I'm gonna quickly scan a wall to see if she has like a schedule posted up on one of them anywhere. Just in case she's not vamped, I don't want her coming back while we're doing this.
On her like pinboard above her desk,
Yep.
you do see a copy of her schedule. It looks like she is in class right now.
Score. I will close the
And you were
door.
looking for
Anything that.
oh, and you were at her trash,
Yes,
right?
trash.
There's junk food wrappers.
Junk food wrappers, just that.
Typical garbage stuff.
Right.
Can I do some sort of investigate? I'm trying to find anything like that's hidden from normal view. Because we're obviously, if we can find anything about the vampires, that'd be cool. But also anything to do with the Sullivan Lane building or
Okay.
stuff she might have left over from when she was dynamite.
At this
Alright.
point, I'm gonna just keep watch outside.
So, roll me an investigation check, please. What'd you get?
10.
Okay. Thankfully, that's actually enough. So, you find, once I find it.
Oh yeah. When do luck points we do? We do every day or every session or?
Yes, your luck points will have reset, assuming you did not get fatigued.
Okay. Good to know.
So your luck reset, your luck did not.
I am very unlucky right now.
You're a little low energy at the moment, yes. So I'm trying to find, where did I put, I just found them. I just found them, where did I put them? Where did I put them? It's not, and everything's coming up daisies. I really enjoyed my write-up for that first week of this campaign. Just the random references. Because you find a picture of the CCU Creative Cinema Appreciation Association, founding members. I can't find the full list right now because I did not think that that would be relevant to put in this week's notes.
Hey, have a free time between classes.
We do have free time between classes. I didn't think you would end up going there. But the Creative Cinema Appreciation Association includes... I can't remember everyone who's in it because I don't have the list. But,
Well, how about
in
we
the
do this,
picture,
okay? Rainy will take a picture of the picture.
and I can tell you who's in it later.
Yes, if it
Okay.
comes up to be relevant at that point.
Yeah, so there are a few people in it. There's like a guy from the football team. There's a couple people you know from class. It looks like Jeremy is in the Creative Cinema Appreciation Association.
Okay.
And Jackson, of course. They're anything one of them does, probably. The other one is there unless it's sports or debate team.
Okay.
And it's probably one of the few things that they both like, they both agree on. And also a face you recognize from last night.
Bill or Lane.
Not Bill, not
Romilda?
Lake. It's Romilda.
So this infection could have started at the creative whatever.
It could have started at the Creative Cinema Appreciation Association, yes. But you're pretty sure you've seen some of the people in that picture around, and they're fine. Let's see, who else in it? Sachi Shahid, I believe, Sahid was in it. And, well, you wouldn't have
But
seen
she's
her.
antisocial enough that she might just not go to every meeting.
That's true, that's true. Oh! And the faculty supervisor for the Creative Cinema Appreciation Association is Elaine Olson.
Patient zero, maybe.
Could be. With
The conspicuously absent Elaine Olson. But yeah, the Romilda is there as well.
Maybe we should check his home.
do we know if the Olsons live on campus or do they live off
The
campus?
Olsons do not live on campus. They, in fact, live off the campus.
We could try checking their offices though.
Yeah.
You could. You could. Are you gonna join? Are you going just to the
taking-
quarantine?
I'm going to the quarantine to see if anyone's awake.
Nope. Well, they've
Sedated?
they've been keeping them sedated,
Okay.
so they're all still asleep.
Okay.
You give them a fresh dose of meds.
Just before we leave, one last check around the room. You know, any drug paraphernalia or anything that looks like it wasn't there.
Nothing that you notice. Just the kind of stuff you might expect somebody creatively oriented to have.
Does it look any different than when I was here last night? Does it look like she's been back to her room since last night?
Does it look like has like nothing been disturbed
Yeah.
through that?
I
No, it
was
doesn't.
there
It doesn't look like nothing's been disturbed.
So it looks like she did come back here after
Probably.
she did the disappearing act last night.
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Hey guys, I think I'm gonna wake one of them up to interrogate them.
Bad idea.
Hello?
Wait till
Question mark,
everyone
question mark,
is-
exclamation point, all capitals.
If you're gonna do that, wait till we are all there.
And as we leave, do we have to do anything special to relock the door?
No, you actually managed to pop it open with that very nice success there. You actually managed to pop it open without damaging anything, so you are able to actually just reset the lock, close the door,
And of course, we put back the photo before we leave.
yes. Nothing has... The room has not been substantially changed. You doubt anyone would notice unless they are really, really perceptive. Like their garbage is slightly out of place from where it was.
So, who do we want to interrogate? I'm thinking Ivan, because we know the least about what he's been doing recently.
We'd probably want to do either Ivan, because he seems to be the one that's farthest back,
Yeah.
or possibly Kathy to see how far it's progressed. Because we get some sort of timeline on how long it takes to infect people.
Where are the other drugs going?
I don't know, man. I swear to God.
Swear to me!
Okay, so, alone, question mark, exclamation point. Are you guys gonna go join him?
I'd rather investigate the office first.
I can send a copy of Raimi to go as backup for him.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll split it off from them, and that Raimi will go in costume. But I'm gonna stay with Serial Box Raimi, or actual Raimi for the moment. Well, Reflection can go off and be backup so that he's not doing stupid things alone.
Help yourself, yeah. So you are Serial Box? You are Mr. Conspicuous.
We'll just call them Remy Reflection. How about?
I like cereal box.
Makes it easier to compartmentalize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially just when I'm always careful
Alright,
about what's there.
that is true. Alright. So Remy does come over to join you.
Wait, am I in costume?
Oh, no.
He needs to be in his civvies.
Sorry. I handed you the wrong one.
Oh, did you have a normal Remy that's blue? Or white?
I think she
Yeah.
only has the one normal one.
No,
She has versions for a bunch.
I have a bag full of Ramys.
Oh, okay.
Because then I can coordinate my dice.
Alright, so you fish out the Ramy you want. Alright, here you are. I was wondering where you had run off to.
Good old nerdy.
Nerdy, normal, Rocky. Okay.
Hit a guy with glasses.
Wow.
Come on, Bad Brain. You wouldn't hit a guy with glasses, would you?
Okay, so you are. So who are you gonna try to wake up?
I'm liking Ivan. What do you think, Reflection? Or I guess your Reflection.
Yes, Amber, do you have reflection? Reflection's here as backup. She's not gonna argue too much.
I'd rather wake up Kathy, but she probably doesn't know anything. She was just attacked.
I want to get to the source.
Alright, we can wake up Ivan.
Okay. I do not know how sedation works.
Thankfully, Remy is not the worst.
Yeah.
So it takes some time and some referencing, but she figures out how to like wake him up from the cocktail. Like basically, into figuring out unplug him and wait an hour.
Yeah.
And before he comes awake, bubble him. Just in case.
Oh, can I do a sort of, put my hand on his side there? Like, put my hand on his shoulder so he doesn't,
Try to bolt.
yeah.
The bubble's saving.
Well, you can be inside the bubble.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you're inside the bubble. Remy is outside the bubble.
Yep.
And
Can I set it up so that it will? Do I have to? Is the bubble always like an open or not, or can I like ping somebody to come?
you'll have to
out?
actively decide who to let in and out. But it's not like gonna be always open or always closed. You just say like, hey, I'm gonna let him in, but I'm not gonna let him in. But you can't like preset it.
Okay, so it's when it happens. Okay, cool.
So kind of like it takes a while,
Okay.
but you're just kind of like literally.
Do you want to be bad cop or good cop?
You want to be bad cop or good cop?
I will follow what you prefer. So this is your interrogation. I will play black up.
Okay.
Yeah. Not my
Actually,
circus, not my
it'd
monkeys.
probably be. Well, Ivan doesn't know who either of us are, right?
Yeah.
He knows you work with his roommate.
Yeah. Do we know which one he like knows
To be
better?
honest, I'm not exactly very tight-lipped around Ivan.
But so he might know this guy's secret identity.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Not you. It's
Yeah, because you haven't known long enough to tell him.
He wakes up
So it might be a better idea for him to fuck up.
and he kind of goes. So I can't do that. But stuff my teeth. Hold on.
Are there any like soy bottles nearby?
Not conveniently. She's gonna like, and he kind of starts like trying to like snap up at you. But conveniently, Vandermeer had already like strapped him to the bed.
Yeah.
So he's just kind of like squirming and like snapping at your hand on his shoulder.
Yeah, down boy.
You punch. He's a sad little nerd with like a toughness of 1. I'm just gonna say that auto hits. He's
Yeah.
If you punch him again, I am telling Jack.
All right.
and then he's like,
Don't worry, I'm
he's
not
gonna,
hitting
like,
him too
wait
hard.
for his- He's like, now he's like hoping you'll punch him again so he can like bite your hand. he's a little animalistic.
No. Stay. Bad student.
And like chomp chomp, chomp 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 chomp, chomp chomp chomp.
Well, since Remy Reflection will just be like, Ivan, can you talk to us?
Looks over at you. Chomp chomp, chomp 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 chomp.
That's a very nice impression of a chain chomp.
He's a little chain chompy at the moment. You don't think you're gonna get much out of him?
I guess roll insight to see if he's actually animalistic or just not talking.
Roll me an insight. DC 10.
Okay. 8.
Does it straight 8?
Yeah, I have 0 insight.
Oh. Like, it looks pretty genuine. He
Okay.
looks really hungry.
Okay.
Bag of chips.
I don't know, you can try to persuade him if you behave, you can get him fed.
Let's see.
Is he hooked up to a bunch of machines or anything that are like taking... Has anything noticeably...
He was only hooked up to a machine that was keeping him sedated.
Okay.
Okay. Huh. Are there any... Do you have a knife or anything on you?
We could take a blood sample between when they're awake and sedated to see if there's any changes in nanobots and their behavior.
Here's my idea.
Yeah?
Don't just cut him.
No, cut me and bleed into his mouth.
That's so scientific! Do that to somebody we don't like.
I'm feeding him.
If
You
I
seem to
was
be-
there.
He seems to be enjoying this. Like, he's like...
Reflection.
mildly
I pull my
horrified.
hand away.
Send it to
Chomp,
Jack.
chomp, 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 chomp.
Pretty much. Reflection's just like over text, takes a picture of him and then sends it to Jack. Are you okay with
No.
this?
Did you end up tinfoil insulating him?
We tinfoiled Tacky, I think.
I would have made sure he was tinfoiled.
Did we decide that you would have the ability to do that in
I
time?
thought that was the reason I was up all night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
They're all tinfoiled then.
Okay. And they're still animalistic. Alright.
Instead of feeding him blood, do you want to go take a blood sample?
We'll have to sedate him. We'll have to sedate him again.
I want a blood sample while he's not sedated.
Alright.
To take a blood sample, well, roll me a expertise
Get a phone
or
call.
a treatment. Roll me a treatment.
Okay.
Is he-
Do you have any treatment?
I can, if I step in there, I can do it
Yeah.
with a +5 at least.
He's getting a phone call.
But the thing is that,
Unfortunately, I turned it on silent for the interrogation.
and remember, this is happening at the same time that they're breaking into Elaine, so
Yeah. So
Fortunately,
you
I'm really
managed to
stretched right now. Thanks so much.
get a sample of blood.
Yeah.
And you plug into Analyze and you send the information off to Oracle.
okay. And then once he's been sedated for like another hour, I'll take another sample of him.
Same thing. Oracle figures there's no major difference between when they're sedated or when they're not sedated. She does notice that they appear to be running on low power, basically because they require a little refreshment every so often, and they
Is there
have
any alternative to blood we could give them as refreshment? Like a blood substitute?
She's not really sure. It's kind of a weird, like, she figures some sort of artificial serum could be synthesized, but she's not sure how long it would take.
Okay. So yeah, his phone's on silent. If you want to yell at him, I can put you on speakerphone.
Please.
But the bots in them appear to be more or less on standby mode, like, because they're not receiving any
Sustenance.
Yeah, they're not receiving any sustenance. They're not receiving any signal.
Okay, we'll deal with the conversation in a second. Reflection's gonna take a couple of vials and stuff so that if we run into any more active vampires, you can take a blood sample from them in the field, possibly.
That seems reasonable.
Yep.
Now you two.
Yep. His
You're
phone
on
goes
to the-
silent, so he called Reflection.
Put me on
And
speaker.
she put him on speaker.
Why do you want to be on speaker?
So I can yell at him.
Why do you want to yell at him?
Because Raimi Reflection sent him a picture of him feeding Cohen or feeding Ivan blood. I was like, are you okay
Just
with
hold,
this?
just hold your phone up to the thing so he can yell at you.
Yeah.
I swear to God, leave him alone, sedate him, put him away, and just leave him alone.
You want to help your friend? We need to find out how this happened to him so we can cure him.
And feeding him blood is not gonna help. If anything, it's gonna make him stronger and easier to break his bonds.
So, before this conversation happens, you guys are going off to, which Olsen's office are you going to?
They don't share an office?
They're in different buildings.
Are both of them a member of the Film Society? Or just the one?
Elaine.
I'm
Okay.
gonna go with the,
Elaine then.
I was thinking more the Owen or something, because
Well,
he was missing first.
they could have been missing at the same time. We just had a class first. They could have been missing at the same time, and the only connection I'm going off right now is the film study or that cultural club thing. So that's where Raimi would want to go, is to Elaine's office. You can't split up. How far are the offices in the same building? That's convenient.
Yep.
Do they share an office with anybody?
Dr. Owen Olsen doesn't. You don't know about Elaine. You never got to her office.
Alright, let's just say
You don't think so.
The-
Most faculty don't.
this Dr. Olsen is
Yeah.
closer.
Yeah, which Olsen's closer?
Elaine.
Okay, then we'll go to Elaine first. If we can't find him, we can borrow Owen.
Alright, so you guys head off to Elaine Olsen's office.
Yep.
It's in the same building as your English class was.
Okay.
There's nothing. The classroom that okay, so her actual office is like just down the hall from her classroom. There's a little annex room next to us. Before you even get into the office, you don't notice that there's a room right next to her office where the doors are side by side, and you recognize it's one of the littler like annex rooms. Like it's a little, like a study room. It's not like a full size classroom. It could have been another office. But on the door for it is posted Creative Cinema Appreciation Association schedule. And it has like a list of different things that they're going to be talking about, their meeting dates.
When was the last meeting date? When was the last meeting date?
The last meeting date was last week.
Okay.
On Thursday.
Okay.
And it like says like if interested in joining, contact, and it has a couple of names listed. Dr. Elaine Olsen is one of them with her school email, and the other one says underneath it says Diana Desmond, and her school it has like where you can see where her email has been put as well, but it's been crossed out with like black Sharpie, not particularly neatly. Yeah. So that's the two doors, like side by side. Which do you go in?
Your name is Ryan.
I'm gonna knock first.
Long.
On Elaine's office? No response.
You wait. Ben, Will,
Let's just give it a
Jack,
minute.
Kevin, Eric, and Anthony.
Alright.
I will try the door handle.
It's locked.
It's locked.
Okay, just checking.
Alright.
Hey, Ryan.
I will provide cover for his illegal activity.
Yeah. See that kind of leave the door. No one seems to be really stopping you, but you do notice there's a group of students kind of loitering at the end of the hall who do appear to be like eyeing you slightly.
I eye them back.
Yes, but you're like standing between them and the door, so. Plus your 5. So you get there. All you actually managed this time is you missed, and like when you went to go to smack, you kind of jumped and you missed and like took out a part of the door frame. It's not super. You got how much was your total?
7.
Okay. Yeah, it was what? Yeah. You didn't do so badly. So you only you damaged it. It's clearly been damaged, but because of where the damage is, you'd have to be like really looking to see it. So you could try again.
Yeah.
If you wanted.
I'm gonna try again.
Okay. DC 10. Excellent.
Better. Yeah, 19.
19. That's how you pop it open. And there's a little bit of a scuff mark on the door too, but I mean you've already put it down in the door frame, so at this point really.
Not as clean as that.
If
Yeah.
worse comes to worse, we can leave a post-it on the door, be like, my bad, I ran a desk into your door. Like, you're moving furniture, sorry about that.
Alright, so you get into Dr. Olane's office. Nothing appears to be it looks like a normal teacher's office. There's some various things on her walls. Yeah.
I'm gonna lock the door.
You turn around and lock the door? Yeah. There's there's awards, things on the wall for her various degrees, and awards she's received, projects, and there's some pictures. There's a picture on the shelf right behind her desk, so it will claim view of anyone sitting there, so it's obviously something she's very proud of. And it's a picture of a bunch of people. It's a picture of a bunch of people in lab coats with the Starware Labs logo on them. But you already knew that Dr. Olane had previously worked for Starware Labs. Yeah, because her story is much like her husband's, yada yada. Some other goodies. Roll me an investigation check. Tell me what you get.
What's the maximum amount you can have in a skill before you can't use the just one? I don't
4.
remember. 4? Okay.
22.
16.
May I see your feeling for a second? You have to spend a hero point every time you do this.
Yeah. I'm not using it.
Huh?
I'm not using it.
Okay, but you used it already though, right?
Previous scene.
Okay, yeah. So what did you guys get?
22.
19.
Okay. So you go around to the side of her desk and you realize her room doesn't look particularly disturbed, but you do notice that her drawers are all kind of some of her drawers are kind of halfway open, she closed them, but either closed them really really quickly or not properly, and the chair had been pulled away from it wasn't neatly tucked in. And Elaine, to the best of your knowledge, she always seemed like a fairly everything else in the room is super tidy, super put together. Everything looks like it's been dusted, it's all organized and clean. Her files all seem tidy, so the fact that her desk is, even in this small amount of disarray, is kind of peculiar. Yeah.
Is it all of the desk drawers or just some of them?
Just a couple, the top ones.
Go open those.
Yeah. One of them is pretty much empty. It looks like it has a couple of snack things in it. You suspect it's probably her random her holding drawer, her active use drawer.
Any particular brands?
For the snack bars? Fruit to go.
It's just, my thought was,
Poison food.
exactly.
Yeah. They're called super bars, and they've got the Superman logo on them. Yeah. No, otherwise,
It's a good brand.
it's organically sourced from Kansas. It's made up the Kent farm. Okay. Yeah, nothing particularly, nothing super noticeable there.
It's not an S, it's the Kryptonian symbol for hope.
You got a 20 some odd. You got
22.
Okay. You do. I'll
Wait,
say
is this a
that.
new roll?
No, this is your same roll. So you do in one of your drawers, you do find a. You do see a copy of your test for next week.
Okay, we'll leave it alone.
And some class syllabuses, including class lists.
Okay.
if you take, so you see she's got them like annotated, some things like you figure some of these things mean like this kid's a little shit, stuff like that. And with like there's like little marks by some of the students, but you find one eventually for the Creative Cinema Appreciation Association's roster. And you have now name for all the students, including Romilda, whatever her last
Any
name
other names of note that have been students acting weird?
Yes, I can't think of them also.
Okay.
I mean, there's some names you recognize, some names you don't recognize. Some of them you'd say probably, but some of them you've definitely seen acting normal, so.
Okay.
I mean, it's not 100% everyone on this list is infected, but
Yeah.
yeah. Did you guys want to go next door? To the door with the Creative Cinema Appreciation Association tacked on the door?
Yeah, we could. Take a list. I'll take a photo of the list.
Okay.
And was that all the doors?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
I'll say you can go through the rest, but there's nothing
Yeah.
of interest there.
Okay. Leave everything as we found it, including the desks being kind of crooked or the doors being kind of crooked.
How well you done that depends on your investigation rules, so that's why I was asking how. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you guys did collectively
Apparently
really well.
someone broke in before us, so...
Or she left in a hurry.
You guys collectively did pretty well. So you get in the. So you go next door.
Yep.
The door is actually not locked. And when you go inside, the room is trashed. There's like there's a TV in the back corner, like on a stand. The TV is knocked over. It's surprisingly not broken, but it's like knocked over. Like there's chairs askew. There's claw marks running down the table.
So,
There's
my
claw
place
marks
to
in
be.
the roof. Some shit happened in this room.
Can we tell how old it looks like?
Roll me an investigation check.
Nope. 9.
Me to the rescue. 17 plus 6. No, plus 4. No. Yes, plus 6.
All right.
23.
So you were able to determine. You're guessing just by like it doesn't look like this happened yesterday. It doesn't look like it happened too long ago. If you had to guess, maybe, and since you also know
Thursday?
that when the last meeting here was supposed to have been, you'd probably guess Thursday. But I mean, like there's like a coffee cup in the corner that like kind of spilled, but there's some stuff in it that has like grown mold, and you'd guess probably about 4 days worth of mold. Yeah. So.
And do the
Thursday.
claw marks look like the ones that Romilda was making?
The claw marks do look similar to the ones you were following.
We don't want to
before.
assume around here.
Is there like any any sample of coffee that we can get to like a vial or something? See if it's got names in it.
You can certainly. What do you have to take that sample in?
Can we use stuff that we'd randomly have with us?
I thought
Do you want to use your?
No, that's
there-
reflection.
Yeah. Did you want to use your own water bottle?
No.
If it's
I don't
just
know
a
what else
water
you'd
bottle,
have.
like,
Yeah.
It's not. It's a flask. It's aluminum.
are we allowed to have a random, like,
Bottle of water?
99-cent water bottle on us?
Yes.
Then I will. Is there a plant in this
Just
room
like-
or something, or a sink?
There's a plant that's been tipped over, and like there's like a little tree. It's out, and the dirt's kind of like halfway.
I
through.
will wipe the plant,
Yeah.
put some of the dirt back in, and then water it.
Okay. The plant seems happy.
Might steal that plant. Actually, they obviously don't appreciate it.
And you contain some of the disgusting coffee.
Just in case.
Are there
And
any
now
other,
you get the message
Are
from.
there any other foodstuffs in the room besides the coffee that looks suspicious?
Not really.
Okay.
You do get. Oh, there was a bowl of popcorn on the table, but it's now like all over the floor. You can pick up some popcorn too. Throw it in a
Might have to
plastic
pick up some
baggie.
popcorn.
Okay.
I got a leftover sandwich baggie.
Yeah,
You
let's
throw
do
some
that.
in the leftover sandwich baggie. Now you get the text message from Reflection. You call. You yell at him. Yeah.
I got the text too.
Yeah,
What's
it's like-
going on? I got both sides of the conversation.
You're like, okay. So that's how that went down.
So there's nothing else of note in the room?
Not particularly.
Nothing that I care about.
So I'm assuming that we're gonna go off to the quarantine lab then, or are we gonna go look at Mr. Owen?
Did you perhaps want to when you took the picture and stuff, did you send that picture to Oracle? The picture of the
Well,
black
anything
picture?
I take in the
Okay.
3D of investigation automatically goes to Oracle.
So Oracle will have analyzed all the different students on the list and so like had the names. So you actually already had that list. There was a couple of names on the list that weren't in the picture.
Yeah.
Sachi, for example, is probably one of the names that was on the list. It probably wasn't in the oh look, we're friendly, happy people taking pictures picture. And so you have from these informations, you notice that a lot of the students have absent listed by their name. And she would have actually brought up a list of like when they all started going absent. And all of them started going. All the ones who from the group were absent from Thursday onward.
Okay.
Except Sachi's still going to have a couple who are still attending classes.
And Diana, of course, still went to the Trump study class.
Yeah. But I'd say all of them were after Thursday.
Yes.
For the ones that went missing.
Any of them
missing.
started going missing on like Friday morning?
A couple of them.
Is Romilda one of them?
Romilda had actually been missing, had actually started skipping class since about the Tuesday before.
So we should, is there any way, does Romilda live on campus?
Romilda does live on campus.
Breaking and entering part 3?
But
Just tell me, Reflection, if you want it to do something.
You
I
have,
think you were inclined to. I think you were more inclined to follow through if it's yourself that says it.
What did you want her
Don't
to
let
do?
him feed more blood to Ivan.
Yeah. Don't feed any more blood to Ivan.
Okay, I only fed him a couple drops.
Yeah.
Like, I told him he wasn't going to get more unless he started cooperating.
Nah, he's certainly not doing that.
Yeah, so I guess we're sedating him at this point. I'm going to see if I can get it takes an hour to sedate him, right? Or was it an hour?
It was an hour to wake him up. He sedates pretty quickly after you plug him back in.
Okay. Alright.
So, you guys come over and join him in the...
Are you gonna go look at Romilda's room, or do we want to go to the lab, or...
There's still another teacher.
Yeah, we can also go to Owen's.
Like, why is he missing?
Well, if anything happened to Elaine, the first person she would have gone after would be her husband.
True, I guess. She is patient 0.
Or it could be Romilda, because Romilda's been gone the longest. And, you know, I had class with... Assumably I had class with Elaine earlier the week.
The last time you had class with Elaine would have been Thursday. Or Wednesday. You only have the class with her on Monday and Wednesday.
Yeah, what day is it today?
It's Wednesday.
Yeah, then I would have had it 2 days ago.
Oh, right.
Was she there?
I'd say you got a classes canceled email.
Okay.
Yeah. I had forgotten about that. Yeah, you got a classes canceled email.
Okay, yeah, so we can go to Owen, or we can go to Romilda.
Okay, I'm gonna do this quickly so we can kind of fast forward through it. His office is exactly as normal. It's a mess, but his office is always a mess. Nothing interesting seems to be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Romilda?
So when you get into Romilda's office, I assume you break in again. Roll to see how well you do, please. DC 10.
Romilda's dorm, right?
Yeah, Romilda's dorm. 11. Super. It is obvious that somebody like went at the lock, but I mean it's not
We have
super
bigger problems
obvious.
at this point.
Yeah. When you get into a room, you notice it's very, very clean. She's got very her bed sheets very tightly made, like hospital corners. All the clothes in her office are pressed and folded and or neatly hung. The books on her shelf are perfectly straightened in alphabetical order. This is a very type A personality room. Her garbage is empty.
I'm gonna take a single book from D and put it in F.
You do this pointless and cruel act of sabotage. But nothing super, yeah. So, but everything, but you also notice there's not that much, staff, if that makes sense. Not much by way of personal effects or even really pictures. This looks like a place where someone sleeps but does very little else.
Can we look through her stuff to see if there's any indication of like what program she's in at school?
Oh yeah, all of the books on her shelf, they're biomedical engineering.
Well,
Biomedical engineering, you say?
I'm gonna take a picture of the different book titles,
Yeah.
just in case one of them might be useful later on. Does anything look like do any of the books look like they're more worn than the others? Like they've been used more?
Some of like the standard books, like the ones that you think have usefulness in multiple classes or for multiple years, looks like they've had more use. But they're all in almost immaculate condition. There are like sticky notes in some of them, and they're like perfectly lined up.
The school scanning machines, I presume you have to sign in to use them?
There's only one department that uses them. It is the biomedical student labs. You do have to, nanotech is considered to be one of the more dangerous techs that are accessible, and you really only see them in laboratory-like environments. And yes, you do need to, you do have to record any projects you're going to do with tech like that. And to use stuff from the school supply, you would have to sign it.
That would be something.
Yeah, there'd be a log of it. Is there any way we can ask Oracle to see if we can access that log?
Do me an investigation check for the room.
26.
18 plus 6 is...
Dining room 24. So nice thing is between the two of you. So you you kind of flip through like the books that have tabs and stuff in them, and you do notice that some of the things that are tabbed are pages on how the body recovers damage, like healing, and there are some like there's a couple of nanotech books, and they're tabbed out in very specific ways too.
Also no fast reader.
Yeah. So that's why I gave you the books. So you can flip through those really quickly. In her desk, you actually find it's one of those like multi-level sheets where when you fill it out, you take one sheet and like the office gets the other one. For having signed out lab equipment, you've got like there's all these records from like when she signed them all the time, and you find a reference to the lab the lab number that she uses because she's a like a master's student.
Okay.
And she like rents out a lab space, or signs out a lab space rather. It's in the Palmer building.
There's no laptop or computer in this room, is there?
Not in this room.
Well, if we want to go take a look at the Palmer building lab, on the way there, I'm also going to have Oracle see if she can find any information about like her Romilda's background. Like, is there recently a family member or a friend that got injured? Any like news articles or anything?
I just saw something really clever. Of these books, do any of them look more used than others?
She already asked that, but only like how you would expect. But this person clearly takes really, really good care of her books. So it's got, like, none of these spines even look broken. It's kind of amazing.
But yeah, look into her personal history, see if there's any news about like family members or anybody getting injured that would prompt this.
Nothing specifically pops out. You do see her name mentioned on a list of possible students who would get who are being considered for a particularly prestigious grant.
Okay.
Which
What's the grant for?
it's for medical technology engineering. It's through Star Wars Labs because Star Wars Labs is looking to sponsor specific students in the.
So, accident, or is she using people as guinea pigs? I guess would be the question.
Because they're sponsoring a lot of people in the engineering program.
Yep.
And just in STEM, yeah. They're in lots of STEM programs. Because they're looking to basically hire people straight out of the university.
And when's the grant, like when, I'm assuming it's still ongoing, they haven't chosen yet?
Yeah. It was going to be, given in January.
Is there a submission deadline for like projects or anything? Listed on like website or anything?
January.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's when it has to be done by. Okay.
Yeah.
Seems like we have motive.
Yeah. So they, rather it's like December 25th or something. Yeah. So you know where her lab space probably is.
How close is the Palmer building to the quarantine lab?
Let me
Because
look
we
at my
might want
map.
to drop off the coffee sample
Yeah.
so it can start getting analyzed by the machine.
By the way, meanwhile, the Vandermeer has shown back up, and he's sitting down in a chair reading a newspaper.
Okay. I'm gonna take a nap for an hour. Wake me if anything happens.
All right. So you guys are in the Logan
Oh, my phone is no
building.
longer silent.
Okay.
So he can yell at you in person.
Where I thought we'd already put the.
I turned the ringer on after we sedated him.
Oh, sorry, I said it was in the Palmer building, but the Palmer building is where the stats were, so we actually had to put it in a different building. Somebody come up with a name for the building.
Crown.
Crown?
Sure.
Crown Chemicals.
Well. Okay, so this is the Crown building. So that's the Crown building.
Yep.
This is the biolab where you guys currently are, and you guys are in the dorms over here.
Okay.
So.
Literally the wrong way.
I think we should still drop it off.
Yeah, well, I can
Okay,
text
so you guys-
Reflection, have us meet up halfway there,
So
and then hand it off.
here's
Yeah.
what you do: pass off the stuff, and you
Yeah.
guys back down over
And
here.
then she'll go back to the building.
Are you guys going to the lab in costume or not in costume?
We might want to costume up if we're gonna be blatantly breaking into places. Like I didn't costume up for Diana because it would be rather hard to play off a friend angle in that point.
Okay, I'm swapping out.
All right, are you swapping out too?
Yes. She will costume up.
All right, you have all of your people
More
there.
like when they meet up, they're gonna come together for a moment and then split apart.
Yeah, that's good. Then you just share your information and
Yeah.
part. Okay.
Are you gonna share this taking out?
I did not think that was important information. Unless you plan to like draw on him with Sharpie.
Well, since I'm not gonna be there, I was going to. But since I'm not gonna be there, I'm just gonna give you a permanent marker.
So,
I'm signing your name if I'm doing this.
so you guys head down to
And yeah, Reflection
the
is-
Crown building.
Reflection will help with the.
She's like, alright. So you guys head over to the Crown building. And
Pretty much on the face. Jack says you're a Jack, yeah. Permanent marker. It's just like on a cheek. Like right here.
cheek that's visible. Anyway, the point is, so you guys go down to the building.
It's anybody's costume.
So you head down to the building. So as you're going down, you do notice that there are a lot of students. The more you look around, the more you start to realize everyone is here.
Everyone
Like, it is
now near the parent.
packed. It is starting to get, like, it's even busier than when you guys went into the last building. Like, there are more people here than you think are usually on campus at any given time. Like, you would expect there to be some kind of event happening.
We may want to fly.
And it's probably spread out past the campus.
Well,
Get a
you're
good
on the
person.
campus. You
Well,
don't
no,
really
I
have
meant if
a...
there's more people here than are usually on campus at any given time, then it's either infected more of the students or more of them are here, or it's got past the campus. But yes, we will fly on a disc.
Okay.
We will fly. So we get maybe they're making an interesting shape or something. But also, we don't get to go through the crowd.
Yeah.
So as you fly up above the crowd, you do notice that they just seem to be sort of clustered around buildings or in like shaded areas. Like there's like a big open sports field. Nobody's on this big open sports field except for a couple of guys throwing a football around. Yeah. There aren't many people walking straight across the quad, but there's a lot of people walking around the edge of the quad. And some people are paying attention to you as you fly by. A lot are. There's some that are kind of like,
We're not trying to be overt about it.
yeah. There's a decent number of people around. There's actually a lot of. So you're kind of like the bottom of the hill place, and there's a high concentration of people are at the bottom of the hill building. Like usually the like center of campus, like up where the quad like library and stuff is usually where it's busiest. But right now it's actually busier down here by the sports fields, which isn't odd when there's sports going on. But there's nobody on the sports fields. Just everyone's kind of around.
Are there more people as we get closer to the lab?
Yeah.
So That says something.
Yeah, something's going on.
We're gonna keep a update to him. Like as soon as the hour's up, she's gonna start pinging him with updates.
Okay.
Okay.
Or pretty much she'll text herself so that the other reflection
Yeah.
can tell him when he wakes up.
It's only been like 5 minutes.
Well, yeah, I'm assuming he had the nap earlier. We started the nap earlier when we were trashing somebody else's room, or we were looking through Emilda's room.
I'm going with you. What Abby told me that earlier. He was watching the people until now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you get down to the building. Are you trying to be stealthy?
Yes.
All right. Roll me some stealth checks. You can aid, but you are the primary.
For that,
Assuming he's
probably
riding on
had
it.
enough time to generate a power.
Yes, absolutely. You could even generate 2 if you wanted.
I'm also probably gonna go to the bathroom before we continue this.
Okay.
First roll is 2.
Hold on one second.
yeah.
Jill, I might not bother. 'Cause-
I got a 26.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm talking about, a 2? So long and thanks for all the work. This is a great one. So it's Comprehend 2. Speak and understand animals, limited to dolphins. Mental Communication 2, up to 1 mile in the area. You can communicate mentally with dolphins. And you have the Summon 3. Horde active multiple minions.
Dolphins.
What this means is up to 8. So you can summon up to 8 minions all at once. You can summon them individually or all at once. If you're all at once, you are dazed, I think, for a round.
It's dazed. Yeah.
It's dazed for a round. But you can summon up to 8 minions. Summoning minions is a standard action, and it appears in the closest available empty space. You can summon any number up to your maximum at once, but you are vulnerable until the start of your next turn. Minions take their first turn in a round after they are summoned, or in the round after they are summoned. Incapacitated minions disappear and cannot be summoned until they recover normally. So, and you are limited to the dolphin minion, which have a variety of abilities. It's all just down here on this card. They have Sense 4, which is nice, and they have some skills, including unarmed combat, perception, and athletics, and they have defenses.
How are they on my end?
So I didn't apparently write it down here, but the summon. Huh. I guess I didn't write it down on this card. But the way this works is they will appear. So you can summon them into any body of water, whether it should logically be able to fit them or not. And they can disappear in any body of water and reappear in any body of water.
I'm gonna test this. I'm gonna open up my flask of distilled water and summon a dolphin.
Like a dolphin pops at the top, like yay! So it's like sticking out of the water bottle.
Oh god, these are the Barbie dolphins.
They're the Barbie dolphins. Have you seen Life in the Dream House?
I saw the clip once he showed it.
Yeah, they're the Barbie dolphins. They're
Dolphins!
They're wonderful. Oh no, they're in the house. Yeah. They're in the dream house. Water Santa.
Oh no, one of them showed up in Mr. Lugazamo's,
They're limited to 1 mile. So yeah, you currently have magic dolphin summoning powers.
It's awesome!
You can summon a second power if you'd like.
9.
That's less than 10, so it's still 1. Understand all the things. You have understand animals, understand languages, understand machines, understand objects, understand plants, and understand spirits. But there's an interesting note that says that just because you can understand all the things doesn't mean that you can make all the things understand you.
I think I got this in my first session.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I communicated with Ferris wheel, remember?
Oh, good. Yeah, you totally did. I don't appear to have my Sharpie in here. Oh, it must be in here. No, my Sharpie's not in here. I don't have a Sharpie.
I think I know where it is.
Like white Sharpie? Oh, this is yours. So mark both of those.
Here it is.
What second power did you get?
So mark both of them. Understand all the things. So he can understand everything. They can't understand him, but he can understand them.
Including dolphins.
Including the nanomachines?
Yeah,
Sweet.
you can understand the nanomachines.
So let's get a hostage.
I could, they're all down there. Just gonna go.
I'd say you'd probably have to have like a blood sample or something. Not that you'd have too much trouble getting that.
Alright.
So you get down to...
Oh yeah, and don't forget that the coffee is getting hammered.
Yeah. So you got a pretty, yeah, you get a ping back from Oracle almost immediately. Yeah, this is coffee. Moldy coffee, but coffee. And and Bryce's like, gross.
And the popcorn.
It's like, a little stale, but otherwise fine.
I check them both.
So, yeah, you get onto the roof of the Palmer building. You got, what was your total? The Crown building, yeah.
26.
26. That'll actually be good enough that you managed to do just a little bit of clever flying, and so people, like the ones on one side of the building thought you had flown around the building, and the people on the other side of the building never saw you, and you landed on the roof.
I'm not sure it matters, but 17 of my assist stealth.
Nice. Even better. So, y'all are pretty, you're on the roof, and you're pretty much set. You can definitely get in if you would like.
Yep. Go in.
Nice.
Do we have a map leading us where to go?
Through the building? No.
I can understand the building.
Yeah, you kind of like, you get to, there's one of those fire evac maps on the wall, and normally these things are a little can't really, they're not really useful for helping navigate. They're just usually good for getting you out of the building, but you instinctively understand what all the different science symbols and stuff mean on the map, and you know where the labs are, and you can navigate you guys to the labs. Notably, there are some people in this building.
Yep.
Are you trying to avoid them, or are you letting them see you?
We'll probably try to avoid them because even normal civvies are just can give away where we are.
Yeah, and last time dealt with cities, sometimes they can get rather angry.
Yeah.
Alright. Roll me a stealth check. You can team check it if you'd like and do one check between the two of you. So you just assist. Or you can roll your individuals.
Yeah, but probably individual, because then at least if one of us gets given away, the other one's still.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's your stealth?
My stealth is +4.
Mine's a +8, so. Yeah, assuming I don't botch this. If I
Win
do,
together,
I
lose together.
Yeah, I'm gonna luck that.
Oh, okay. And you successfully assisted.
16.
So 15 +8
+2.
+2.
So 25. Yep, you make it. You're successful. You manage to work your way down through the buildings. There is a decent number of people around here. Notably, all the people you're seeing, like classrooms and stuff, they all appear to be of the off variety. You're guessing everybody in this building's a vamp.
We just walked into danger. At least I have assurance of that.
Yeah. And you managed to get down to the lab. Notably, the one you were looking for, the door is wide open. The rest of the hallway is dark, everything else is dark. Oh yeah, the building was really dark, most of the lights were off. And in this room, the hallway, no exception, the lights are mostly off, but there is light coming from that lab. Not super bright light, but there's light.
That's suspicious.
Go head in.
We're here.
Let's see what I can understand from this bright lights.
Alright, so as you get closer and creep in, roll me another stealth check, please.
Oh god. The hills have eyes and the walls have ears, quite literally now.
23!
9.
So unfortunately you failed to assist and caused a -2 to yours, so yours is actually 21. Hit to break it to you. Unfortunately, so as you're walking in, you start to hear the murmur of voices, and you hear, wait, shh! Someone in the hallway.
What's the range of the summit?
1 mile, I think.
1 mile.
Oh no, on the summon, it appears in it'll appear in the closest body of water.
Closest body of water that is
Like-
openly available.
Yeah.
Okay,
You can just
where's the closest body of water?
The building can't understand you,
Right.
but you can just use it.
Yes,
And it'll-
I'm just gonna use it.
What's nearby us? Is there like a classroom nearby or a piece of furniture or something we can
There's mostly
find?
the labs. There's a couple labs, but you guess labs are probably mostly locked. There is a bathroom down the hall where you came past a bathroom, so you could run back into the bathroom. But there's also like there may be an office or something on this side that you can go for.
There's also chemical labs with flasks, open flasks with
But they
weird
might
chemicals in.
But they might be locked.
But she's looking for a place for them to go to hide.
Yeah.
But before any of that happens, you hear you hear just like a yell and a hiss, and then the sound of a scuffle starting in the lab with the open door.
Taking that distraction, move closer. While keeping an eye out on the office
Yeah.
in case we
So you get closer and you see two figures in the lab. One of them is actually Diana Desmond. Yeah. And the other one is Sashi Shahid. Or not Sashi Shahid. Sorry, my apologies. Romilda Richards. And they are currently one of them has like launched herself at what looks like a glass of water on their desk. And there's so coming with the glass of water is a dolphin, also out of the sink at like the back corner, and the eye wash station. There's this like dolphins leaping out of them. One of them launches itself from the sink across the room, beats Diana in the back of the head, and chimes into the glass of water. And there's just dolphins like whoosh, leaping across the room.
The Joker of the animal
Romilda's like, Diana's like trying to like do the thing. And Romilda, she kind of looks like she's gonna turn around and launch at them, and then she kind of like shudders and shifts, and her hands get longer, and her like it's like her feet get longer, so her legs look like they're bent at a weird angle, and like her face gets longer, her mouth opens, so you can see she's got all the pointy teeth, like normal front teeth, and then all the pointy teeth down the side, and she looks kind of gargoyle-y, like the old TV show Gargoyles, like a little, but not super much like that, like just kind of like stretched out and creepy little, and she catches
Diana
one of the.
DeBona.
This is Romilda.
Oh,
And she
okay.
catches one of the dolphins that's leaping through the air and like smashes it into a piece of equipment and it disappears. Because they vanish on contact. Then another dolphin jumps out of the sink and beans her in the back of the head. And this is what we're gonna call it for the night.